Hello. This video I'm doing on the reading City and Civilization, Women and Agriculture in the Epic of Gilgamesh. And before I talk about this, we're kind of talking about cities and civilization and how the social dynamics changed with the development of cities. As people started to come together and live together in cities, this was different than the agrarian cultures that we came from, in that there was more people that lived in closer proximity to one another, and just the dynamics of their life changed because there's so many more people. That city life became less personal. And basically, the people that benefited from the first cities was the elites, the rich, the upper class. That these were the people that had the opportunity to live their lives luxuriously, to live in a simple lifestyle, while the poor and all the people that didn't have those luxuries, children, women, they would have to work. They would have to go out and do the labor. They didn't have that. They did not have the resources to live that lifestyle. And so the rich kind of took the upper echelon in society, and that they had the opportunity, they had the means to live comfortably. The role that technology played in those cities is that the means by which we could produce resources moved to the cities, and that brought the people, so the people could come and they could find work and things like that. Really, the advent of technology, you see a divergence from the agrarian style living out in the country and the farm to the cities, where raw materials are brought to make goods using that technology. With the advent of cities, there's a writer that developed the idea of the I and the I. And he said that with cities, really the development of the I became more important. That when we lived in the villages and in towns and in the countryside, we learned by hearing. We lived in a society in which laws, the very dynamics of social life occurred, and it was by what was said, that laws, traditions, culture was passed down orally, that was by the ear. And really with the development of the city, it was the I, that things, knowledge and culture and traditions were written down with the advent of paper, that we could now read these things and that they could last forever. They weren't handed down person to person. And so this was a big divergence from the oral traditions of the countryside lifestyle to the new visually mastered lifestyle of the cities. And also a divergence from the we to the I also occurred. That when there's many people living in a city, you have the opportunity to pick and choose who you communicate with, who your lovers are, who basically your friends are. Every facet of your life you can choose, because there's many people. That really you don't have the same dynamics as living in a small village, that everyone knows everybody's watching what you do. That in a city you can be whoever you want to be, that the opportunity for your individual personality to come out is better. And so that in the city you have a better ability to find yourself, to act how you want to act, rather than living in the city. And I believe the idea of the I and the I persona was discussed in the Epic of Gilgamesh, in that he lived in a society, a very small society, in which the gods communicated directly to man, that laws were given orally, And then this person went out and did. And Leol went out and did. Gilgamesh did these things. As a part of the personality, the I, it's talked about that in the reading on women in agriculture, that it was the same kind of deal, that laws are everything, all the traditions and all the culture was passed down orally from the men to the women and the children, that they would go out and do the work. They would, in the smaller societies, these people didn't really have opportunities to go out and find themselves, but they lived in such a small community that their lives were basically cut and dry in a little box. And so the idea of the I and the I really is interesting, because moving from a small society to a larger one, the dynamics of social life changes big time.